Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys liked the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward.
What's up, guys? Altcoin Sherpa here with a crypto market review. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not an expert to your own research. Today, I just want to review some altcoins. I think that there are a few that look pretty good in the short term and even potentially long term. But I want to preface this by saying that bottoms take a really long time to form in general. Usually, it takes months and weeks at a minimum. And I'm not sure if we're quite there yet. We've seen fairly choppy price action for about maybe 2 weeks now. 2 to 3 weeks ish, depends on where you want to denote the time. But if you look back, even this is Luna on the daily. If you even look back in 2020, it hit this large accumulation range after going from 60 to 30 cents. And this just chopped around and accumulated for quite some time. Looks like 75 days or so. So about 2.5 months, and then it exploded up. And when price is very bullish, you don't really need to see it accumulate or dip for a super long time. It's more after big market shakeouts when you need to see price accumulate and chop around for a while. So, for instance, on its run up, Luna had other periods of consolidation. For instance, back in February, it consolidated for 3 weeks here, between 6 and 5 or so, and obviously it ran up again. And once again, it consolidated as the infamous May shakeout, where once again it consolidated for another 3 months. 2 months, I'm sorry. So what am I trying to say here now, and it's absolutely insane that Luna used to be like, it was 30 cents for weeks on end in 2020. Fucking insane. What a trade if you had that one. Anyways, price hasn't really consolidated for that long here, so I'm not so sure if this is like the macro bottom. I do think that generally macro bottoms take a long time to form, and it wouldn't surprise me at all to see Luna just continue to shop around between, I don't know, like $70 and like $50 for the next few weeks. It would make a lot of sense to me if that was the macro bottom, but in the short term, we do see Luna at a significant support level here, around $50, and this is a psychological level as well as the 200-day EMA. So things look pretty good, and the other coins that I'm reviewing today also have support around the 200-day EMA. But it wouldn't surprise me at all to see this continue to chop around within this range. If you look at volume profile, you can see that price also likes to trade around this like $60 to $70 area. So it wouldn't surprise me at all to see kind of price just continue to chop around and kind of fill out this area. That would make sense to me. And as I said, I'm really looking for price to chop around for a few weeks and form a bottom in that regard. It's possible that we go even higher and form like a larger range. Maybe we make our way up to like $70, $80. But let's just see. Like I really would like this just to chop around for a few weeks. That would be awesome, because then I believe I'll be more and more confident that the bottom is in. But and the worst case scenario is that Bitcoin makes a leg down, and we go down to like the mid 30s or low 30s again. Then I think that Luna makes its way back down to like kind of this mid $30 area near this high volume node around that area. So that's kind of my overall thoughts for Luna. I still believe that we're looking at chop, and that's going to be the same theme for a lot of these altcoins. But I do want to highlight that bottoms do take a long time to form. So let's look at Phantom. Phantom also is right near the 200-day EMA and a high volume node as well, right around $2 to $2.40 or so. And I was thinking that this would continue chopping. So far, it's been about 3 weeks or so, where price is just kind of consolidated, chopped around. And this was kind of an idea that I had before, where if this was a bottom, then I believe this would be a higher low compared to the low set in mid-December. So this was a low, high, higher low. Then once again, I'd be looking for some sort of higher high compared to this 338 area. And that would still maintain the bullish market structure. And traditionally, you can also see that the 200-day EMA, this red line, is a area of decent support as well. So we are seeing price consolidate around that area. Now, this is a scenario where we maybe chop around for a little bit longer and go up to like the 350 area and then hit some sort of higher low. I don't know where the low will be, but maybe like mid twos, low twos or so. But yeah, that would make a lot of sense to me. But for now, I think that price will continue to consolidate and chop around, and still looking for a break of this 240 area. Okay, so let's look at Phantom Luna. Let's look at Solana here. I think that Solana is an interesting coin, especially if you believe in like non-EVM coins. You know, it's definitely one of the best in that regard. As a chain, I still am like dubious on the overall performance, like with it shutting down and what have you. I think that this was one of my scenarios that I was thinking of Solana. As I thought that this would maybe go up to the 200-day EMA and then pull back, but it kind of pulled back before that time. I still believe that kind of this $80 area, $80 to $60 area, looks like a pretty interesting buying area. It's a high volume node around this area, and this kind of does remain like an area of interest. I think that it's likely that Solana has found its midterm bottom. I think that maybe it comes down maybe potentially to $70 or so if Bitcoin makes another leg down, of course. But to me, this looks like it's just kind of chopping around and potentially like forming its own bottom here. As I said before in the opening statement, bottoms do take a long time to form, and it would be healthy for me to see this consolidate and chop around, and maybe we see some big moves in later parts of March. That would be something to look for. But for now, I think that like the short-term bottom is fine. You'll want to see the EMAs on the lower time frames as well start to consolidate and chop, and you want this to be kind of healthy in the sense that you want there to not be a large gap between the lagging EMAs, like the 200 EMA, this red line, and current price. If you see a large gap, then that usually means that price will be a solid resistance area. For instance, like this was an example here. So February 7th, price moved up, but because there was such a large gap between the red line, this EMA, this 200 EMA, and price, this actually served as like a very solid resistance area, if you can see right here. But when price is getting close to this, the lagging EMAs, and you see them all starting to clump together and consolidate, then that's really pretty healthy for price, and that's what you really want to see for a bigger move up. It means that price is just chopping around and consolidating. So yeah, that's kind of what you want to look for Solana. Avax looks interesting as well on higher time frame charts. Similar to the other ones, it looks like the EMAs on the daily look okay, and price was trading right near the 200-day EMA, right around $72. And this SR level around $79, $80 is also an interesting level that just got flipped. So in the short term, I definitely think that there's decent upside potential, and the next kind of area of interest that I'm looking at is past like 98, 97. This area has already shown to be resistance twice. If you look, it hit resistance area twice. So once that area will get flipped, then I think the next area up would be like 120-ish area. That's kind of like the area that I'd be kind of viewing as a resistance level, 125 or so. Don't really know what to think about this chart. It's like not very clear to me, to be frank and honest with you. Like similar to the other charts, there hasn't been really a long period of chopper consolidation to form this bottom. And I will say that this market structure does look a little bit different than May, of course. Like May was a massive shakeout. Like, this is more of like a slow grind down, but um, I still believe that this would need time to consolidate. So it would be kind of nice to see from a long-term standpoint if this did just reject from like the 97, $98 and just continue to chop around between like 75 and 98 or so for a few weeks. That would be pretty healthy in my opinion. Let me look. Oh, Near is another coin I wanted to review. Okay, so Near is a coin also that is trading near the 200-day EMA as well as the 786 fib of this move, and close to this SR level as well, right around $12 or 11.80 or so. I do believe that Near has found a short-term bottom, and this is kind of what you want to look for a bottom. Looks kind of a little bit like a double bottom, like where you see price kind of come down, come up, make some sort of like lower high, then come back down to that level. And you'll really want to look for a break of that that last high. So you want to look for a break of this like $14 area. But yeah, it still looks pretty decent to me in the short term, and the overall EMAs also look pretty healthy as well. You'll want to see them all start to clump together, similarly to the last coin that we reviewed. But yeah, everything looks okay to me. I think that the short term short term bottom is mostly in. You might get another entry at $10, but this remains an area of interest for me for Near. Anyway, thanks guys for reviewing or for watching this video. Please let me know what other altcoins you want to see reviewed.